Hey guys, SkittleRampage here. Welcome back to a new video. I do hope you're enjoying your day today. So we're back with more trending Funko Pop news this Saturday. Now we do have about 10 selections in today's video, and I do want to thank everybody who did submit something on the last video or over on Instagram. And as always, if you guys would like to participate in these style videos, just leave a comment down below of a Funko Pop you've noticed going up in value. Now for the question of the day for today's video, it is, do you have a Funko Pop in your collection that's wearing a glove? And I'm gonna go with Diesel here from WWE. Let's go and kick things off today with Harry Potter here. So we do actually have a Funko NFT from the Harry Potter line, and that is the Hungarian Horntail here. You can definitely see where it jumped up from that $150, $200 range. Some recent sales were at $350, $550, $456, and $150. And then current listings are anywhere from $300 almost to $400 plus. Though if you are looking for this one right now, I want to let you guys know over on Mercari, I did see a couple still around the $200 range. There's not many of these currently on the market. And it's not too surprising that some of these Funko NFTs for the Harry Potter line are still going up, because look at that Harry Potter pop. That sits around $800 to $1,000. Though I am curious, do you guys own any of these Harry Potter NFTs in your collection? Okay, so moving on for pop video games, we do have Sonic the Hedgehog and we have Dr. Eggman. So this is actually the original Funko Pop we got of them. We only have two currently. Estimated value $41, though recent sales have been anywhere as low as the 30s all the way up to the $60 range. And then current listings of what I could find were relatively around the same range. So this one necessarily hasn't had like a crazy huge jump, but it's worth mentioning that there are some really high listings for this, and he's really hard to find given the last Sonic movie was very successful. I am really surprised still that they have not made Sonic movie pops. I don't know what's going on with that. If it's a specific license holder just saying no, but they have been doing a lot of newer Sonic characters in their Sonic lines. But it is a little weird that they're so consistent with their regular Sonic line and then not doing any movie ones. Next up, guys, we have a couple anime selections here from One Piece. The first one being Trafalgar Law. So this is Trafalgar Law with the Polar Tang here. Estimated value around $155. It did actually jump up from the $135 range. Recent sales, $155, $152, and about $180. And then current listings, from what I could find on eBay, were mostly around the $200 range. However, I do actually want to throw in some Mercari listings here too, just to show you guys the difference. So on Mercari, there were actually a couple cheaper listings. We had $135, $120, $130, $125, $135. So there are still a lot of lower listings over Mercari, but Trafalgar Law stock is really drying up. We're most likely not going to see another restock. Well, I say most likely, but anything can happen with Funko these days, so I don't want to completely rule it out, but usually they don't restock con exclusives. So as of right now, there's just not a lot of stock out there being sold. So over on eBay, for example, it's jumping up to the $200 range given there's very few listings, but on Mercari, it's a little bit lower. I think going forward, I am going to try to at least include Mercari more when the listings are a little bit lower, just so you guys can get a proper gauge on the values and all that, and you have other places to shop. But you also have to consider with Mercari sometimes, especially right now, is that they have higher fees, because take this $135 listing, for example. It may say $135, but you end up paying $26 in fees, making it more so around $160 instead of $135. And the same goes for every one of those other listings. Realistically, even if it's at $125, for example, again, you're paying closer to $150. So it is fair to say that roughly Mercari and eBay are almost the same in prices. Now moving on to our other One Piece selection, we have Gold D. Roger, the Fun Days exclusive. So let's take a look, guys. Remember, this one is limited to 3,400 pieces from the last Fun Days. Estimated value around $390. It did have a pretty decent jump recently. You can see recent sales as low as $375 up to $420, and then current listings are higher than that, around the $400 to $450 range. Now, some of the main driving forces as to why this one is getting pushed up to almost $500 is that it's scarce right now in the market. Between eBay, whatnot, and Mercari, those are some of the major places to buy Funko Pops, outside of Facebook, of course. And then all at the same time, you also have it being limited to 3,400 pieces, so there was only so much stock out there to begin with. And it's anime, and it's One Piece. One Piece being one of the biggest things because people go crazy for One Piece pops. The funny part about this Gold D. Roger piece is the fact that if this was not limited to 3,400 pieces and if they just did kind of like a repaint and released it as like a regular Target exclusive, for example, this would probably be worth under like 20 bucks, but given it's limited, it's worth a lot more. Anyways though, let me know in the comments below, do you guys own this Gold D. Roger piece in your collection, and how high in value do you think it could possibly go? Like I said before, it is pushing close to the $500 range, though I do see some $600 to $800 listings too. If the stock continues to dry up, we could very well see it get pushed up even further. Moving on from anime, we do have a couple Marvel selections here. So first up is Gambit here from X-Men 97. Estimated value around $42 on Pop Price Guide right now. You can see it had a little jump close to November of last year. Recent sales 45, 35, 35, and 50. And then current listings of what I could find were around the $50 to $137 range. And places like Mercari were looking relatively the same. So this one never actually got a restock just yet on the Funko shop, like Cyclops, which is also pushing almost $100 lately. Just nuts on these two. I think these are the only two that really gained any value from that X-Men 97 Funko exclusive set. I do think there is still a strong chance once the next season comes around and popularity is up again that we are going to see a restock on both of these from Funko, tanking them. So just be careful on these newer Funko Shop exclusives. I like to tell you guys this all the time and as much as I can. There's so many Funko exclusives that I've seen people paying like these crazy high prices for, especially ones that released in the last few months or the last year that Funko hasn't even restocked once yet. I just don't want you guys to lose a bunch of money when Funko tends to restock things very often lately. Another Marvel exclusive we do have is SpiderMan, the Valentine's Day Funko exclusive. So estimated value around $70. Recent sales have been anywhere from $65 up to $100. And then current listings of what I could find are all nearly around $100 with that official Funko sticker. This is a pretty interesting one. It sold out relatively quick apparently, and then it never restocked. Could it restock still? Probably, like I was mentioning with Funko exclusives. If it's popular enough and they think they can make money from it, they will definitely bring it back. So a restock is not out of the question, and given we're nearing Valentine's Day again, who knows, maybe they could. But for now, he is about $100 piece with that Funko exclusive sticker because there just wasn't a lot of stock for this one. And I'm actually really glad I don't care too much for this Valentine's Day Spider-Man, otherwise I'd be stressing because I don't remember it dropping. This next selection is actually pretty interesting because it's just kind of random. It's the only expensive one in the set, and that is the military set. So we do have the Marine here in dress blues. So check this out, estimated value around $140. You can see it's just continued to go up. Recent sales have been low as $120 up to $160, and then the current listings of what I could find are from $150 to $200. Again, this is like the only expensive one out of all of those. The Air Force one, the other Marine, I think female one, those are like $10 pops. I don't know why this one's so expensive. I could not tell you guys. I've just been watching it for a while and it's just continued to go up. So if there's a specific reason, again, I'm not much of a military person, all that. So is there a specific like military reason as to why this would go up? Is it just a preference thing? Let me know in the comments below if you know, but it is a crazy piece for sure. The only real answer I could give you is it's just hard to find. Now, speaking of hard to find pops, we do have a Yellowstone, more specifically Rip Wheeler. So check this one out, estimated value around $43. Recent sales, $200, $40, $55, and $50. And then current listings, which was actually very similar to the recent sale. I don't know if they had multiple or if that's just something weird kind of going on. But there was one for $200, and then there was a bundle including this Rip Wheeler for $300. Nevertheless though guys, Rip Wheeler is just hard to find, whether it's the common or the Funko exclusive. And as soon as one pops up, whether it's $50 or $100, it gets snagged up immediately. The only guess I really have here is that the show was canceled and it didn't get renewed because there were like set issues with Kevin Costner and the studio and all that with like their scheduling and all that. So I'm wondering if like all merchandise was affected and it was like halted. So Funko had to kind of like do something with the rest of the stock. I don't remember these selling out, but I guess I could be wrong. But either way, they're really hard to find, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with the abrupt ending to the show. And this is one of those situations where I don't know if this one would restock on the Funko shop given the circumstances. Anything could happen, of course, you know, maybe if the show sees like a demand for this specific pop and they can make a little money, maybe some rights will be given back to producing merch. Like I said, I don't know how the whole thing works with restocks and, you know, licenses and all that, but these are just some of my best guesses and speculation. Now, our last two selections today come from Pop Animation. The first one is Gravity Falls here, and we do have a Grunkle Stan. So I actually haven't talked about him in a minute. I think the last one we talked about was Mabelcorn from this set, the Hot Topic exclusive. Now Grunkle Stan today, estimated value $135, did actually jump up from that $80 to $100 range recently. Recent sales, $150, $140, $125, and $140. And then current listings of what I could find were $150 and up. He's getting really hard to find. Most of the Gravity Falls set is actually pretty decently hard to find. I do believe they actually restocked some of them recently over at Barnes & Noble. I think it was the Bill Cipher, and then it was like one other pop that they just haven't vaulted yet. As far as the rest of the set, they haven't restocked them or brought them back. I don't know if they will. Anything can happen. But for now, Grunkle Stan is definitely going up. And something else that was going on with Gravity Falls is they released a book in the last few months, so that could also have something to do with the spike in some of these pops. And the final pop we have to talk about today is Rayla from the Dragon Prince. So check this out. She jumped up from the $30 range up to $65 estimated value, and then recent sales have been higher than that, $75, $70, or best offer around $50, as well as an $85 sale just in the last day or so. And then what I could find for her, there was an $80 out of box one, $75 out of box, then we had $85 in box almost, $100, $80, and $85 again. So she is just really hard to find. The rest of the set hasn't really done too much in value, so they weren't really worth mentioning too much. It is just mostly Rayla, and I think this has to do with the last season 7, even though when you look it up, it says only 5 seasons, like through Netflix. I don't know what's going on with that, but doing further research, I saw some people were like kind of upset with the show's ending, but I think there's maybe just not a lot of merchandise out, so the pops are just getting bought up currently. Again, just a little speculation here. Anybody who's watched a show, feel free to let us know a little bit more information if something specific happened with this character. Even if I did a little bit more research on Rayla, if something specific happened, I don't want to spoil somebody by accident. Well guys, that pretty much wraps up today's trending Funko news. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to let me know in the comments below, do you guys own any of the Funko Pops that we did talk about today? As far as me, do I own any of these? I own the Trafalgar Law, and that's it. Yeah, that is the only one I own today, which is not bad. He's been in the collection. I was able to get him, I think, for retail, actually, which was pretty good. So saying he's pushing close to $200 is pretty cool. Anyways, though, let me know if you own any of today's selections. That's pretty much it for today's video, though. Hit the like button down below if you did enjoy, and subscribe and click that notification bell if you're new here. I do want to say a big shout out to all the awesome Patreon supporters of the channel. You guys are amazing for supporting myself and the channel. If you guys are interested and want to check out the Patreon, the link is down below. We have a Patreon Discord where we share a lot of information, news, restocks, updates, links, and more. And finally, make sure you follow me on all my social medias at SkittleRampage over on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and my Facebook page so you can stay up to date. All right, love you guys. See you guys in the next one. See you guys later. Bye.